That was a lovely opening song by the Slippy Digits. And yeah, now we are here in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Is this the first afternoon recording we've done? No, I think maybe the first one was in the afternoon.
Yeah, the first afternoon online recording.
First afternoon all alone in the computer space. Ready to talk.
Yeah.
Ready to do the thing.
Yeah. Man, and that opening band. What a tune.
Yeah. Slippy Digits, man. They slide right in there and get you going.
You know, I think they're probably the third best crust punk band in London right now.
Oh, I thought they were ska.
Huh?
Well, we all hear different things sometimes.
Crust punk, ska, you know, they're pretty close.
Crusty ska.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the horn player, I just didn't see him. I don't know.
Just a little bit of mozzarella stick residue on your fingers.
That's how you know you've been to a ska show.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's really the difference. The punk band is just the ska band is just a punk band with a trombone. So we're very close.
Ska seems like the crowd's more well fed.
Oh, true. But they do that fun dance. The punks don't do that dance, do they? Big circle, the skank.
They do, if I remember correctly. I think it had to be an offshoot of kind of punk ska type of stuff. Yeah. But I remember some punk shows where people were skanking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always enjoyed the punk ska. I'm a fan.
I've grown to appreciate it. I don't like it. I didn't like it when I was a teenager because I was a little more of a metalhead. And a lot of my friends at the time were punks. So I had to listen to them constantly argue about what's more punk. Or are you more punk? Is this punk? Are you really a punk? And I couldn't stand it.
Yeah,
but now I like it because it's like, oh, I kind of get the ness a little better than I used to.
It's just like the band I listened to. I think we showed it to you once. Big D and the Kids Table. That was my favorite punk ska band back in the day. That band just like never stops. Like everything is just driving. Like the horn players are blowing as hard as they can. I really like that part of punk where you're just going for it.
Yeah. My favorite punk was always usually political. It was like Pennywise or Dead Kennedys, stuff like that. My current favorite punk band is No Means No.
That's the one you showed me. Yeah, I dug that. That was cool stuff.
Really good bass player.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what it is too. I find that on punk records, the bass, you can actually hear it. It's its own unique instrument.
Yeah. It definitely has a big part of the overall tone. It's like
yeah. A lot of them use a pick, which, you know, I'm not like a snob, like you have to use your fingers, but I definitely prefer finger playing with a bass rather than a pick. But that being said, the bass tone on a lot of punk records are great.
Yeah, it is its own tone, and some things just call for it. There's a really cool old like pops musician from like the 40s, 50s. I can't remember his last name, Bert something Kampfer, I think. And his bass player, he always had a bass player playing with a pick and a guitar player like playing palm muted and like doubling the bass line. And it's a really cool sound. He did like a Christmas album. You've probably heard one of his like Christmas songs, you know, the old strings and winds playing soft classics. But he had this cool
Uh-huh.
little effect with the bass and the guitar with picks. Yeah, it was nice.
That's interesting. Yeah, I have not heard of that.
Yeah.
I'll have to give it a listen sometime. How has your week been?
It has been good. It's been
What have you been getting into?
well, I had a little vacation this last weekend. Got to go up to Lava Hot Springs, Idaho. And let me
Ooh.
tell you what, the good news is COVID is over up there. It is gone. So,
Oh yeah,
good for them.
COVID is just an imaginary thing, depending on where you are in our country. So go to the imaginary places, and you'll be fine.
I could not believe there was people literally everywhere. Like people say that, but I'm not even kidding. Like every possible inch of space that could be occupied by a car was, and people just walking, giant groups, lines, like hundreds and hundreds of people everywhere, packed in tight like sardines. I was just like, oh boy, not a mask in sight.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna preface this with the fact that I am not a doctor. I think you know this,
Really?
but yeah, I believe it or not, I am not Doctor Tipsy Jacob Wayne.
Oh, I thought you went to college though, and you always seemed like a dude into the medicine.
True, I am into the medicine, and just because I demand people call me doctor doesn't mean I actually am one.
I mean,
But
that's a thing, especially on radio.
for sure, yeah, when you write into Koshka@gmail.com, make sure to say, Dr. Briner, I have a problem. My ankle hurts. But the main point I'm going to make is if half the country is just going to be like, fuck you, this isn't real, should we just go for herd immunity at this point? Because it's just like, it seems like we're not going to be able to really reduce much of anything if half the country is going to act like this isn't happening.
I I don't know. I from what I've read, it is not. You know, the whole problem with this disease is everybody's basing it off death as a metric. Like that's the only bad thing that can happen from it, and that is not the case. Like there's signs that it really messes with your cardiovascular system and all kinds of stuff. Long-term bad health effects from getting it. Like I don't think anybody wants to get it. People just don't realize that.
But
And
Kellen, it's all
yeah,
imaginary, you know, long lasting effects that it'll have on your life. Like,
well, I
if it doesn't happen to you, it's not real, right?
one of my a close family friend like got it and died. So it's as real as how more real do you want it to get, you know? It's there.
I was working with some people, and obviously there was a lot of the people that are like overly protective of everything, like wiping down everything, and then there's the people that are just like, I think masks are stupid, and
Mm.
everybody's going back and forth. And then of course there's that one person who's like, have you actually ever met anybody who's passed away from it? Like, I don't even know if that's real. And then there's inevitably somebody else in the room who's like, yeah, my aunt's boyfriend got it, and he's fine, but then his coworker got it and died. So
Yeah.
everybody I've heard about that has died is a little too removed, so everybody kind of like sits there like, yeah, I guess that's kind of somebody you know, but not really.
True.
And
I've seen
yeah,
people
it's weird.
online that have been more, my mom, my dad, this I have seen that, but
But I mean, Herman Cain passed away from it, and he was like if people remember him from running for president, 999,
yeah,
like he caught it at a Trump rally. So, and I guess that just fake news? That's all made up.
exactly. Like uh,
Like, okay,
it's
all
here.
right,
And the thing that drives me nuts is like everybody who goes against masks. It's like, well, then you wear one, and it's like, see, this you're fundamentally missing the point. It doesn't do anything for you. It's all about other people. It only
yeah,
prevents your stuff from getting out. And I think we've talked about this before too. It's been going on in other countries for a long time. If you feel sick, you wear a mask. Like it's about time we should probably start doing it. Like
Kellen,
we're getting
other
more
countries
populous.
aren't real. They're imaginary. Just get on
See,
board, bro.
I'm just missing the whole concept here, I guess.
Yeah, dude. Canada isn't real until I go there.
Exactly.
It's
But
just this imaginary thing that gets written about on the interwebs
yeah.
by the 5G demons that live in pizza parlors and extract
Yeah.
adrenochrome from babies.
I mean, something's got to
I
be
mean,
running
keep up,
society.
bruh. Yeah, it couldn't possibly be people.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's hard to keep up with all this stuff.
Yeah, man,
There's too
that's
much
why I'm
going
here,
on.
dude. I'm here to keep you up on all your QAnon business meetings and blah, blah, blah.
That's good.
Yeah. As
I've
much
been
as all that
keeping
stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
I've been keeping my eye out for the Antifa, but just I can't find them. I don't
They're
see them
around,
anywhere.
man. They're around, especially around Halloween. Just you wait.
They'll come out.
Yeah.
Uh,
The I hear that California is canceling Halloween though.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to do a virtual
Which
Halloween.
yeah, that's I love Halloween as an adult just to kick back and watch movies and enjoy a little bit of whiskey or whatever. I think I actually picked that up from Patton Oswalt. He talks about just having a bunch of scary movies and whiskey and a little bit of this and that.
Yeah,
That sounds like a good Halloween. And so, as an adult, I'm fine, but I just had a lot of good memories walking around during Halloween, and it does bum me out that kids don't get a chance to do that. And the way I
true.
figure, everybody's going to be wearing a mask and going around at night. If you can eat a meal outside, outdoors, you know, I don't know. Maybe I just want things to get back to normal.
Oh, I think everybody does. Maybe the solution. You ever go to like a family reunion or some kind of party where they had the candy cannons? Maybe just everybody needs to get one of those and just sit on their back porch and just blast them into the neighborhood. Everybody just goes out in their backyard. Launch some Snickers. Even just like
Mm-hmm.
get some like slingshots or something.
You could mix it with gender reveal parties.
Yeah, start some fires.
Well, if start some fires with the Snickers. It's a boy.
I mean, the candy cannons are explosive, so it's probably better to pick a non-explosive option for fire-prone areas.
What about t-shirt guns?
There you
Like they
go.
have at the college games.
Yeah, I remember riding on the hockey float for a parade. I was on the hockey team, and we had little ding dongs wrapped up in tinfoil. They were about the size of a puck. We were just smacking them off the
Hmm.
float with our sticks.
And that's how you
Yeah.
started the fire that year?
Yep.
Wow.
See, I got to
How
be
far did...
careful. I got priors.
Yeah, man. I had a buddy growing up. I'll leave him nameless because I don't know if he'd want to claim this story or not. But he was playing with fireworks in this cul-de-sac we used to live in,
Hmm.
and we were just lighting off regular stuff like those little snakes on the ground, like pretty innocent stuff. But then he had like it was like whatever's a little bit below like an M80 or like a cherry bomb or whatever. It's like those are pretty big, but it was like a lesser version of that because those
Uh
were
huh.
illegal. But he had one and he's like saving it. And so we lived close enough where I could like run home real quick and come back pretty easily. And it's like, I'm gonna go take a shit. I'll be right back, man. And, okay. And so I go in my house, take a crap, talk to my mom, doing all this stuff. I come back out and there's just huge billowing smoke and like a fire truck. And it's like, I guess I took a little while shitting because holy, what happened?
Holy cow.
Yeah, he run over and he had lit that whatever that was, and like, oh, that's what it was. It was like one of the spinny ones that go out of
Oh,
control.
no way. That's what.
Because that's what happened. Because he like lit it and it like went crazy and went into his neighbor's bushes, and just caught fire and like super easily. And he's all sitting on the curb crying, feeling guilty about it. And, I was so glad I wasn't with him when that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There
it's
for the help.
that easy. It was a huge flame.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were doing the day that I caught the field on fire here.
Yeah, okay, yeah. What happened there?
Same thing, man. We a little spinny just shot off into the brush and just got the hillside on fire. Couldn't get the hose over there fast enough. It was big.
The hose never get there fast enough,
Nope.
man.
Slow hose.
Yep. To go back a little bit, how long did you play hockey?
Oh, I played a long time. I cannot remember exactly when I started. I'm guessing probably when I was around 8 or 9. I stopped senior year of high school, but I played roller hockey till they built the ice rink for the Olympics in 2002, and
Mm-hmm.
then I started playing ice hockey.
Okay.
And then I quit, and I have not played since. I haven't done hardly anything with any kind of hockey gear. I've been skating a few times, but that's it.
Do you miss it at all?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I've been thinking about trying to get some gear and doing the adult league, the no contact.
You'd
Yeah,
be
it's a fun
brutal on
sport.
the ice, man.
Yeah,
You're
it was good times.
you're a big fella. You probably check some people.
Yeah, I laid a few people out. That did happen.
What was your position?
It was a defense,
All right, yeah.
occasional left wing, but mostly defense. So,
Yeah. I was wondering if you'd be like a goalie or not, because you could probably block a lot of stuff.
oh, I don't have the temperament, man. That's like the hardest job in sports, right there. It's
Why is it the
terrifying.
hardest?
Like you're the last line of defense. Like goalies do work in hockey and
Yeah,
soccer.
oh,
Like yeah, you just got
definitely.
like the hardest job. You're like 50%, really. You're that final piece. Hopefully the team gets it so they're never even near you. But people are
Yeah.
good.
To a much lesser degree, I think. Maybe somebody would argue with me here, but when I would play baseball, they'd always put me in the outfield, and I hated that position because it's like it's boring until it isn't.
Oh yeah,
Once the ball comes for you, it's like all on you, and people are like running to go score. So if it gets hit far away from you, but you're the only one that can get to it, you're all like running up to grab it, turn around, like where am I throwing it to? Everybody's yelling and screaming at you. Like,
oh man,
I don't know. I would have preferred to just be like second base because then it's like you get some, you don't get some other ones, but it's all fast and happening, and people forget if you screw up a lot more. I feel.
I remember baseball. Like I had no idea what was going on. Like everybody had to tell me everything I did, so I was left field all the time, just way out there. And like one time I was just chilling. I might have been even like sitting down, like I like really chilling. Like I just did not care. And all of a sudden everybody's like, Kellen. And I like look up and there's a ball just flying at my face and I just like stick out my hand and catch it. Just like not it came right to me. I didn't have to move. And and I think
Yeah,
I like won the game. Like everybody
nice.
like tackled me after I caught it. It's like I didn't even know. I don't even know how you kept score. I still don't know how you keep score in baseball. Like yeah. So
Home runs.
yeah, that's the good thing. That's all I know. Like you want to hit it and get to the bases. That's all. That's
Yeah.
that's about it. And then when I did move up to third base, the guy at second like threw it to me. I can't remember if it was the bat or the guy from second just threw it to me, but I totally missed catching it and it like hit me in the face and I had braces. I think that was my last
Ooh.
baseball game. I was like, nope,
Yeah.
I'm out. This sucks.
Oh, that's brutal. I was never good playing the defensive end of baseball, but I was a pretty good hitter. I didn't get a lot of distance, but I could always get contact pretty good and get it on the ground and outside of the diamond.
Uh-huh.
I remember my coach, he tried to give a nickname to everybody on the team, and so he's like, all right, J. Cobb Briner, Cobb, like Ty Cobb, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's a baseball player I don't know
Sure.
much about. So the whole season they kept trying to make Cobb happen, and it wasn't
Not
happening. He's like,
happening.
all right, Cobb, let's get it with the Cobb. Like, what are you doing? But I just kind of go up there. They'd be yelling Cobb a little bit, and I'd hit a little bit of something, something, and that was about all I could do. I wasn't very fast. I was always a better basketball player,
Yeah,
and I was
same.
pretty good at that for a while. And then just, you get into late middle school, high school, and you're like, oh, okay. There's people that are built better for this. They're more dedicated to it.
Exactly.
I don't want to get in a big sweaty locker room with these guys because they're kind of assholes.
Yeah, I
There's
did.
some that were like really cool, but yeah, like I remember trying out for a team and I was just like, this is I can't.
Not for me.
Which is too bad. Maybe if I had pushed through, it would have been rewarding. But yeah, I just switched over to playing music and doing artwork. I had already done artwork, but
Yeah, I never went far on the hockey team. I was always JV. I think I played like one varsity game and screwed up royally and never played varsity again. So yeah, I was much better at orchestra. That's for sure.
yeah,
I did
I
the.
definitely wanted to try hockey, but just never got around to it.
Yeah, I was pretty good at
Um,
basketball just due to my height. So,
yeah. Oh yeah. They didn't put you at point guard?
which one's that?
That's the little dude.
Oh no, they did not. I
He's
just
the
stood
John.
under. They were
That's
like,
the
stand
John
under the
Stockton.
basket and smack the ball away. That's what they told me.
Yeah. Yeah. Center.
Yep.
So, do you watch any sports at all these days, or do you even got time for that?
I don't watch them like on purpose. Like if I go to a place and they're on, I'll watch them. But I really like all the weirder sports. Really, I
Yeah.
really like the ESPN's like showing like cornhole tournaments and stuff now. Like I think that stuff's interesting. I don't mind watching any of them though. I like watching all the sports. Hockey's definitely my favorite to watch on TV.
Yeah. But you're not. Are you keeping up with the playoffs right now at all?
No, I'm not. But
Yeah.
how's it going for you? You got any money on it?
Yeah, I have definitely been betting. I don't know if we talked about that yet or not, but I have recently started sports betting, and I did really good at the beginning because I was mostly betting on basketball, and I feel like basketball is a little more predictable. Hockey can just like, even if it's like the best team, it could just be an off game, and then the other team will score 3 goals and it's over.
Yeah.
So I did bet on the Islanders winning their series against the Flyers, and so I managed to win that one. But other than that, I bet on a couple games and just lost. But I was losing a bunch in the NBA playoffs too. Like I bet on the Bucks winning, and they almost got swept. I bet on Houston winning some games that they ended up being in a really close one with Oklahoma City, and so I'm building it back up now. I went from $50 down to 10, and so now I'm making smaller bets, trying to build it back up. But as far as the NHL goes, I think it's the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the New York Islanders and the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Dallas Stars. So
Hmm.
I kind of like all those teams. So I'm kind of like for whatever. I think I root for the Lightning a little more than the rest of them just because I used to live in St. Petersburg, which is near Tampa Bay. But I'm just waiting for that Seattle hockey team to arrive, and then I'll have my favorite hockey team, and I'll pay a little more attention.
Yeah. How is the Vegas team doing?
They do pretty good, man. Ever since
Nice.
they started, they're consistently in the playoffs and still going for the Stanley Cup. I don't think they've won one, but I could be wrong. So if I'm wrong, feel free to write us at fuckkoshka@gmail.com and yell at me. But remember, yell at me and Dr. Jacob Wayne.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, other than that, basketball's been pretty interesting, but it is getting narrowed down to teams I don't really care about that much. So,
Yeah.
but oh well.
Mm-hmm. You moved in any other weird sports? Can you bet on like the horses or some golf tournaments or?
Yeah, you can bet on quite a bit of stuff, but I try to bet on stuff that I know, and I feel like I could bet on football, I could bet on basketball, and then maybe like who's gonna win a series in hockey. Baseball, I refuse to bet on. Just it's unpredictable for me.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some people that have a science to it, but I don't get it. And maybe an MMA fight if I feel like I've heard people talking about a matchup.
Uh-huh.
I'd be like, okay, yeah, McGregor's gonna win this one or something. I'll throw down $5 or something.
There you go.
Yeah,
Nice.
but who knows? Maybe I'll make a big wad of cash and then I'll get crazy with it. I'll start throwing down money on what is that one where you like shuffle something along the ground?
Hmm. Shuffleboard?
Not shuffle. Yeah, no, not shuffleboard. It's they have the little broom
Oh,
and the little thing.
oh man,
Curling?
curling. Yep, that's it.
It is curling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to
maybe.
try that sport too.
It kind of makes me angry, just how peaceful it is. I just look at them and start like, ugh.
Apparently, it's a little intense. They get all yelling at each other. You just got to go do it live, you know?
Brush faster. Just fucking do it.
Scoot.
If people are like screaming at each other, I would get way more into it.
Well, I think it doesn't even seem that fun to watch, honestly. Like, I want to go play it. Apparently, it's easy. If you go to somebody that has played it before. So, my buddy actually won like the local tournament. He was on
Hmm.
the winning team, and he's only been playing for like 2 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that is something I would say if anybody who's not that into sports, I would say try to go see them live at least once because seeing them in person is just way better than watching them on TV.
Yeah, I've been
I
trying to go to more like hockey games. Like, I love going to a hockey game and like live. So cool.
Yeah, the I think the biggest change from like watching it on TV to being there in person is hockey. Like you can
Hmm.
watch it on TV and it's all right, but yeah, once you're there, and given all my NHL games have been up in Canada, so there's like that little extra love for it. But yeah, it's just an incredible environment. Baseball too. I can't watch baseball at all on TV, but going to a baseball game, getting a hot dog and a beer, that's a great day.
It's America right there.
Yeah, man.
I've always wanted to do that. I've still not been to a baseball game in a very long time. I don't think I've ever been to like a minor league or no, I've never been to a major league, but I don't think I've even done a minor league baseball game. So that'd be fun.
We should maybe hit one up sometime. We could go down to Denver. I don't like the Rockies at all, but we'll wait for the Mariners to show up or something. I would go to a bunch of Mariners games when I lived up in Seattle, and they're not a very good team, but they're still a lot of fun to go to.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Just due to them being Seattle's team, they're just my favorite baseball team.
That's who I was when I was on the junior baseball team. We were the Mariners one year. So
We were the White Sox.
nice. And also the Phillies one year.
I'm sorry.
I know.
So, anything else going on in the world this last week?
Well, some sad news came to light. Some hope came to light after the sad news, but one of my favorite TV shows is getting canceled. The Venture Brothers.
Yeah,
I think you were
I
the one
heard
that
about that.
informed me.
Yeah,
So
I was on the Twitter, and I believe it's the showrunner uh, posted about it being canceled, which
yeah,
is definitely a bummer. How long had they been on the air?
let's see. I think it's 2002. I want to say. I checked it the other
Wow.
day, but that's just a guess. But Yeah, it's been a long time. And they put out the seasons slow, but man, they are so good. So yeah, they announced that they're canceling it. Um, I'd heard that they even have like half of the next season written. So but so it's kind of a last minute thing. But
Yeah.
on the September 7th, Adult Swim tweeted, "We also want more Venture Brothers and have been working with Jackson and Doc to find another way to continue the Venture Brothers story." So there's hope. I don't know what that means. It could be good, it could be bad. You know, sometimes the spin-offs aren't really worth it, but I think
Maybe
those writers are good. I think they could do it.
my guess would be that they're either talking like let's make a movie to wrap something up, or maybe they still own part of the rights and they're just looking for a streaming service to pick it up to like help pay for it. Because I am one thing that happened for me is I watched up until about season 4 of Venture Brothers
Mm-hmm.
because it was when I was in college, and a lot of people had different ways of having shows on their computers back then, and
Yep.
I could watch it and be caught up, and then I just that stopped kind of doing that stuff, and then I don't have TV either, and no Venture Bros. I hear it's on Hulu, but I don't even think we have that at our place right now.
Oh, dang.
So yeah, I just kind of fell off. There's a bunch of Venture Bros I haven't seen, but season 1 through 4, which I have, are amazing.
Yeah, but I actually haven't seen like all of the latest seasons all the way through. You know, I like in order. I've never sat down and just watched them. I've just kind of caught them all at different times. So I need to have a marathon and just watch the entire show straight through and get the whole storyline because I have never done that all the way to the end. Now that there's an end, I've always just been hoping to be like, hey, I'll get through it. They're gonna keep putting them out.
Right. Do they still have Brock Sampson?
Yeah, he's
That's
moved
good.
around. Yeah, but all the characters are still there in some way. So
Some capacity.
yeah, you've probably seen enough of the random ones to know that the one henchman dies and comes back as a ghost and that kind of stuff. So
Is
yeah,
that the one that sounds like Ray Romano?
yep, yeah,
Like I haven't done it in a while. I can't even remember.
yeah, that's the
Number
guy.
21.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's the one. He does the French horn part when they do the little Mars joke at the start of one of the episodes. The da 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 da. He
Yeah,
does sound like a French horn when he talks. It's a good joke.
indeed. I just realized how bad my Ray Romano's gotten. I haven't done that in years. It's just like,
Yeah, he was popping up a lot on the Netflix radio. He's making a comeback. He better get it back down.
yeah. Well, Ray Romano's always been solid. I liked his sitcom, Everybody Loves Raymond, but I don't know, by the time it ended, it was just always on. So you kind of just like, I'm sick of this. Like, just whatever, it's done. But
Yeah.
yeah, Ray Romano's a solid stand-up comedian, and uh, he played the father in this one movie. I'm trying to remember the name of it. If it comes to me, it comes to me. But he was really good in that role, and then he was in The Irishman, that Scorsese movie that was like a weekend long, but it was
Oh,
awesome.
yep.
And yeah, he's a great actor, super funny. So
Yeah.
I'm all for Ray coming back, doing more stuff.
Yeah. He's quite funny. And especially now that he's made it, he had quite a few funny jokes, but just
Hmm.
about how loaded he is. It was kind of funny.
Yeah,
Got some good
he
stand up.
is like seems to be like one of the only guys that could talk about how rich he is, and it's lovable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else going on for you?
Well, here's some interesting news for me.
Okay.
We'll see if you find it as interesting as I do. So, do you know who John Cage is? You heard that name?
Um, The Mortal Kombat character?
I think there is a guy named John Cage in Mortal Kombat. He's also a composer.
Johnny Cage.
That's it. That's his name. Yeah, so John Cage is a composer. He like was known for writing some really weird 20th century, like, modern pieces. He wrote the one piece. What is it called? One sec. Yeah, 4 minutes and 33 seconds. So this is a
That's
piece.
the name of it?
Yeah, and it's a piece where a piano player walks out, sits at a piano, opens the cover, sits there for 4 minutes and 33 seconds, and then shuts the lid, and the piece is over. So it's like the piece is the sound of the hall. It's one of those. Okay, so he did that kind of stuff.
It's about the notes you're not playing, man.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. So that's one of his most famous works. He has some other very strange works. Okay.
His earlier work was hitting the C note once and like, good night.
Exactly. I think he did have another piece, or I don't know if it's him, but let me actually double check that. There's another piece where it is all in C. No, it's not him. Another guy wrote that piece, but yeah.
I actually wrote a piece recently.
Oh yeah, what's it? What do you do?
Well, it has to be on a grand piano because you're just gonna get that particular sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I walk up, I step onto the spot where you would sit normally, step onto the keys, open up the lid, and fart on the strings.
Ah, what do you call this piece?
Despondent in Paris.
Ooh.
Yeah, Paris actually is the right way to say it.
Yeah, but that is proper. That that is sounds like belongs in the library of 20th century music.
Yeah, this Johnny Cage guy would probably be like, he's ripping me off.
That was my idea. So that was one of his famous things he did, but he also did this other piece, and this one I think is a little more interesting. So, it's a 639-year-long song. So it's an organ that's playing chords.
Uh-huh.
And so they just had a celebration because it changed chords. So every time it changes chords, they have a party. So
how's that work?
Let's see. So wait, which part?
Well, like, how does it keep going for one?
So it's a special organ built for this. So it's just got blowers down in a room below it that just are constantly pumping air. And they can set, it's just like two pipes, it looks like, and they set the chord and it just plays. So this is the first time the chord's changed in 7 years.
And how does the chord change? Somebody just decides to do it, or
well, they're following
automated?
Music. So it's called Organ 2 ASLSP, as slow as possible. So it started on September 5th, 2001, and it's in a church in Germany. And it's just been playing. It played the first chord, and then it did a 17-month pause for a rest, and then another chord started on February 5th, 2003. So if it all keeps going and everything continues, it's going to end in 2640.
Wow.
Long time away. So the next chord change is February 5th, 2022.
Huh. Yeah, could you imagine living next door to that?
Oh, yeah, it'd be awful. It does not sound good. You can go listen to it, and it's like a pretty nasty chord and sounds very loud.
The slippy digits are practicing again. Like, God.
My ears.
Welcome to the never-ending organ.
Yep.
Yeah.
Forever, for years. At least it does change chords, and I imagine the guy who has to sit there and like watch the exhibit is like the happiest dude when it changes chords.
Yeah.
Imagine just listening to a note for like 2 years. Doesn't sound fun.
Imagine being the alien that came down and humanity's already like wiped itself out, and there's just this weird organ playing. It's like, what is this? They're trying to tell us something. It's a message.
I'm not going in there. And then in
What are they?
2640, when it finally cuts off, they're like, what does that mean? What's
It
happening?
must be the apocalypse. The Mayans.
The cycle continues.
One of the aliens is gonna start screaming, gonna run up and fart on a piano. Don't know what to do with myself.
I found these instructions from a professor called Jacob Wayne.
Dr.
Dr.
Jacob
Jacob
Wayne.
Wayne.
Thank you, Mr. Alien.
Well.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. I'm kind of middle of the road on stuff like that. There's a part of me that's like, why would you even bother doing something like that? And then another part of me that's just like, I'm really happy little quirky things like that exist.
I think it's art, and I think people can call whatever they want to call art, and I think when you call it art, it opens it up for everybody else to rip it apart, good or bad. And
Yep.
that's just how it is, and I like that people kind of do stuff like that to challenge stuff. I actually had one of my professors performed that 4 minutes 33 seconds thing, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I knew it. Like it was a 7:30 class, and we were all sitting there just chatting, and she just walked in the door and went over and sat at the piano and did this thing. And she had a
Yeah.
pretty powerful presence, so everybody shut up when she walked in the room, anyways. But and then
Yeah.
yeah, we all kind of realized like 30 seconds in, we're like, oh, she's doing that thing.
Yeah. It reminds me of art. It's like they had a video right next to the piece at the Seattle Art Museum, and I can't remember the artist's name. And once I tell the story, I'm sure you'll know why I don't remember it. But it's just this banged up canvas, and so you're looking at it like, And you watch the video, and it's the artist has the canvas attached to her back, like she has straps on, and she's just dragging the canvas on the ground as she walks around the city. And so the canvas is just picking up all the grime and dirt and randomness and getting beat up, getting dragged through the streets. And then she comes back to her studio and it's done.
Huh.
And I was just like, that's kind of genius because you know that's that kind of pretentious art expression that's going to end up in a museum.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, you're just like, God damn it. But what I do realize is that is just, I'm pissed that I didn't think of it. Like, I'm just like, why am I sitting here trying to like paint colorful animals when I could just go drag a canvas on the road?
You could paint the city with
Yeah.
itself.
And they're like, what's he doing? He's like, he's expressing himself.
That's art, bro. Yeah, there
Yeah.
was stuff like that in some of the museums I saw in England. Like one of them was just the guy just stabbed his canvas, maybe with his palette knife. I don't know, but there's just a big gash, just a torn canvas, and it's like I hope they don't pay him money for it. Like, yeah, it can hang in here, fine, it's art, but we're $10. Like, I know what you did.
I know what you did, boy.
And some of the stuff I
There's
did do. There was one like that were all these weird little patterns, you like make a square and then you put an X through it, and then you
yeah.
do another square and put X's through that, make a little like crazy pattern. There was like those hanging on a wall. And they're like, yeah, you should have done it first. I was like, I did. I did this in second grade, like all the time. Go
Yeah.
look at my notebooks. Uh, but and then there was also the urinal. It's just a urinal, but the guy called it the fountain, and it's a big point of discussion. Everybody was ticked off, just like the I think we've talked about Piss Christ.
Yep. I was
Uh,
just about to bring that up.
yep.
Like, yeah, that's the whole point of that piece is the reaction it gets.
And it's like probably I would have more agreed that it been like, yeah, that's not art until people got all mad about it and stuff. I'm like, yeah, it totally is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
I'm
interesting.
trying to Yeah, I'm trying to find this one artist who I just recently read about, so he's not a guy I know very well. Maybe I found it real quick. Yeah, it's Mark Rothko. Have you ever heard of him?
No, I've not. How do you spell his last name?
Rothko. If you go plug that into your Google machine real quick, you'll see what his
Oh,
art is like.
I think I've saw some of his pieces in England.
And they're pretty big, right?
Yeah.
That's what was interesting to me about it because for obviously people that are listening can't see what we're seeing. Um, they're really simple. Like it's a kind of an orangey canvas. Then there's a big red square, and then a black rectangle underneath that, and that's it.
Yep,
And they're just like color blocks.
yeah, big color
And
rectangles with not hard edges. Very
yeah,
soft edges.
it's like painterly, and yeah, you can definitely tell it's like brushstrokes and everything. But what's interesting about it is that it's recommended that you stand a certain distance back away from them,
Mm-hmm.
but like at a particular spot, because then when you're looking at it, like it kind of overwhelms you. Like your senses kind of get taken over because you're staring at this giant red block that is so unnatural that it like kind of makes you trip out a little bit as far as this article was suggesting. And I thought that was interesting because when I was thinking about it, like, yeah, if I was reading it in my living room and I just look at my wall and I'm like, yeah, if that was like a giant painted, like you could see the brushstrokes, just big red brick, and then there's just this yellow rectangle in it, like it would be weird to look at over a certain amount of time.
Yeah. Huh.
So there is some value, but at the end of the day, I also know myself and would be like, can't just put like a little tiny tree in there.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a little something like little tree coming up from the black rectangle up into the red square. Like, no, it's not what it's about. It's not the point.
Exactly. And yeah, it is hard to not get frustrated as also doing the same thing, as an artist or a musician when you're like, I've been trying to work on this song for like 10 years and that guy just farted into a piano. And
Yeah,
so you just, yeah. Yeah. Eventually you come to terms with it and keep plowing on.
yeah. And I know like some traditional Chinese and Japanese art. It's a lot about empty space and kind of minimalism. It's like the power of that one brushstroke.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lot of layering and detail. And well, let me phrase that correctly because it is detail. But yeah, it's the importance of the brushstroke and the importance of empty space and how it interacts with those brushstrokes.
Yeah.
It's interesting stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, it's fun. Just get you thinking. And I think that's the overall highest point of art.
You
So,
realize what we just did to people if they're listening to this for the first time?
what's that?
Is this started out, we're like talking about hockey and sports and all that stuff. They're like, yeah, all right. Some of my boys will just sit down and talk about some sports. And then we snuck into art and farting on a piano.
You
It's
get a
like,
little bit of everything on this podcast.
yes.
That's how the Jacob
Believe it
Wayne
or
show
not,
do.
yeah, you can be into sports, into farting on pianos, and art.
Yeah, it's all good. Whatever
Yeah.
you want to do. Oh,
Any other articles you got or something that you read?
well, let's wrap it up with a little bit of a. I want to toss a weird one at you.
Okay.
So this is a new thing, a new science. So have you ever heard of the Cadaver Farm? First of all,
No.
uh, so Mary Roach wrote a cool book about cadavers and how they're used, and one of the chapters is about the Cadaver Farm, and this one's in Tennessee. So they're at this cadaver farm, the Forensic Anthropology Center. They put out bodies just out in like a landscape, and they just see how they decay in different circumstances to like help in crime scenes and stuff. You know?
I'm imagining people donate their bodies.
Yeah. So if you donate your body to science, this could be a place it goes. It just goes and lays in the
Okay.
field, and they watch how it decomposes. This one's under a tree. That one's under some rocks. This one's out in direct sunlight. That kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
So they're looking at them, uh, like they're looking at the trees around the bodies to see if they can find where bodies are by looking at the trees. So if a body decomposes near a tree, there's like a I'm trying to find the exact name of the chemical, but there's a chemical in like a body breaking down that they can see in the trees. So they already do that. They go fly over a forest and they'll look for a certain signature that like drug grows put off. So now they can look
Oh.
at this and be like, oh, there's a body there because of this chemical is in the plants now.
Okay.
So pretty weird, pretty crazy. They can
So what is it exactly? Like they can with the naked eye they can look at the tree and see it?
no, they have to use like a it's like they look for the fluorescence of a certain chemical. So it's called hyperspectral imaging.
Okay.
So they already can fly it over and detect cannabis and poppy grow because and they use it for other agricultural needs. Like you can kind of just tell how a plant's doing by how the leaves reflect more or less light or change in color. So
Okay. Because I was thinking about like you're just walking in the park and then you see this tree. It has like some bedazzling on it. Like, oh, that's where they buried Terry.
exactly. So they'd have to look at it and oh, here it is. So there's an amino acid called phenylalanine.
Oh, of
Phenylalanine.
course.
Yeah, you know that one?
Phenylalanine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phenylalanine.
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 Christmas is coming.
Yep. So that is put off by a dead body, not a living body. So if they see that in the
Oh.
tree's leaves, they'll be like, "Hey, there's somebody buried a body under that tree."
Okay. Interesting.
So kind of interesting thing. So the article is called "Could a Tree Help Find a Decaying Corpse Nearby?" Apparently, it can.
I'm trying to determine if I went on a date with some lady and she's just like, "There's a body underneath that tree." You want to know how I know? Like, if I'd be like scared and turned on, or just scared.
Well, if she has a hyperspectral imaging like app on her phone or something, not that scared. But if she doesn't have it, you can't tell with the naked eye, so that would mean that she put the body there. So that would be a good time to run.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But like, that's also too. If I go on a date with a girl who's like, "It's hyperspectral imaging something," and I'm like, "Oh god, she's a hippie."
Gonna be looking for bodies the whole time.
I was like, "God damn it." No, yeah, that's a good article. Where was that cadaver farm at again?
University of Tennessee.
Tennessee. Okay, I see you, Tennessee.
Yeah. And I definitely recommend that book by Mary Roach. I wish I could. Stiff, that's the name of the book. It is good. Talks about all the different uses of cadavers, and it is interesting. All
I
kinds of
need
uses.
yeah, I need to get back to reading. I went hard at it at the beginning of the pandemic, and then just I don't know. I think like a lot of people, they're kind of going through cycles of different things. So it's like this is my fitness phase. This is my I'm gonna get into camping phase, and right now I'm on just working on music phase, which is always happening, but it's kind of like nope, just work on it a little bit, and then eat food and play video games with my friends and paint when I need to. If the commission comes in, or well, I paint for work, so I do it every day to some capacity. But
Yeah. Yeah, I feel yeah. I've been kind of focusing in on the music as well lately. Trying to
yeah,
get this home recording setup happening a little better. And yeah, working on a meditation track right now. Yeah, my
ooh,
my brother and his girlfriend are gonna be releasing some meditation tracks, kind of help you get to sleep or help you just clear your mind at the end of the day. Guided meditation with some nice background music. So that's been fun to work
nice.
on, and Hopefully you and me will get going on some more cloud faculty stuff. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got some beats to send them your way, but
yeah,
we'll get rolling on them.
Indeed.
Yeah, so I guess next time we should do that is on these episodes discuss what we're reading. Kind of give it a little bit of that book club vibe, but I'll make sure I'm doing a little bit more reading for next time.
I've been trying to fit that more in my schedule as well.
Cool. Well, that sounds like that's about it for this episode. Once again, if you'd like to correct us on anything, argue with us, or introduce us to something, like you can bring up any story or information, and I think we could talk about it and spitball on it.
Yeah, Jacob will send you the score for Despondent in Paris.
Yes. Paris.
Paris.
Yes. I'd be happy to send it. But yeah, any of that, any interaction you want to have with us or the show, write us at Koshka@gmail.com. We do have a fun episode coming up with another friend of ours, Neil, but we still got to figure out how to do all the recording for all things like that. And so I don't know if that'll be the next episode or a couple ahead of it, but
we'll get it figured out soon.
Yeah, I got a new microphone on the way, so that Dr. Jacob Wayne voice will get even smoother and silkier.
Indeed. Audio quality.
Absolutely. Well, all right. Y'all have a good week, and we'll be seeing you or talking to you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Peace.
Boy.